So hello everyone, and welcome to the episode of the Caffeinated Librarians. So we are continuing with our musical series, and today we're going to be discussing the 2007 Hindi language romantic fantasy film Om Shanti Om.
This one is dedicated to all the hot girls and all the cool boys out there.
There's a ton!
Sing Om Shanti Om.
And this is written and directed by Farah Khan. The film stars Shah Rukh Khan as Om Prakash, a poor junior artist with aspirations of becoming a star who is secretly in love / infatuated / obsessed with a popular actress named Shanti Priya.
Whenever he was talking to the Billboard, I was just thinking about like the scenes in the new Blade Runner where Ryan Gosling.
Oh, the big face.
Yeah.
Who is portrayed by Deepika Padukone, and this was Deepika Padukone's breakout role.
She killed it.
Something that I learned was that one of the reasons why she was cast, because she was originally a model, was because the director believed she had a classic Indian actress face, so she could easily portray, because this film takes place in two time periods. It starts off in 1977, and of course there will be spoilers, that goes without saying, and then it goes to 2007, which would have been the present time when the film was made.
Yeah, it looked like, just from like the logos in the beginning, it was like made to celebrate the studio's 30th anniversary, which is a really fun project to do that.
Yeah, so it's a crazy film in a good way. So Bollywood films, for those who are not really familiar, and there are variations. They don't all follow the same pattern, but generally speaking, they're very bright, very colorful. There's a lot of musical numbers, song, and dance. The acting, I don't want to call it overacting because I don't want to sound offensive, but okay, we'll just go with overacting.
It's overacting. It's a different register than American acting.
Yes.
And yeah,
it's like
is
purposeful bad acting.
Emotions are very high constantly.
Yeah, and of course that is starting to change. There are films within Bollywood that are more, I guess, subtle or more like what Western audiences would be used to. And of course, there are many film industries within India. Bollywood is just one of the major ones.
Hollywood has been coming up big recently.
Exactly,
with stuff like RRR.
Yeah, and Netflix is putting a lot of.
As I read it when I first saw it.
They're putting a lot of these films on Netflix, and if you are someone who is a fan of Shah Rukh Khan, his career spans decades. He started in the 80s. They're putting a lot of his films on Netflix. So when the film opens up, it's 1977, and Om is a minor actor. He mostly has background roles. And he is madly in love with Shanti Priya, who I'm just going to be calling Shanti from this moment on.
And can we just comment on Shah Rukh Khan as Om?
Yes.
Because he plays it like... It's that certain kind of wonderful star quality where it's like, even when they're playing a total loser, they also have to be the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
And it's just so charming. Like, it reminds me a lot of, like, Jackie Chan's 80s stuff when it's just like, oh, like this guy's going to fall on his face constantly, but also you're going to be like, oh, no, he's cool and he's my best friend.
Yeah. And Shah Rukh Khan definitely has that star quality. Most people would argue, or maybe his fans would argue, that there really isn't like a modern day actor who's his equivalent in terms of his presence within films. And so he's in love with Shanti. Shanti at this point in the beginning of the film doesn't really know that he exists.
Yeah, he's just seen her in movies and he's like, oh my God.
He wants desperately to be close with her.
And he really wants to be the hero star.
Yes.
And he loves poofing his hair out with his best friend.
Yes.
Oh my.
Because that's a spoof on another like actor. Every time he comes in, he goes like this. So they're like imitating the actors.
I love that. I was cackling every time. Or just like, there's a lot of great gags early on that I think sort of helped me as like a Westerner who's pretty ignorant when it comes to Indian film. I think this is the first like actual full-length Indian film I've seen. So, because it's sort of just like, okay, we're going to play these as jokes first. Like, these kind of tropes and things. But then, eventually, at a certain point, like, they start getting played more seriously. And it it becomes like really impactful.
Well, that's sort of like with a lot of the films that I've seen. That's kind of like it'll start off really goofy, and then it becomes super dramatic, and it's like, oh my god, the tonal shift. You have to kind of get used to that tonal shift. I'm like, oh my god.
I've heard some Indian films called like masala films.
Okay.
In terms of just like it's like a big stew. Everything's in it. There's comedy, there's action, there's romance, there's melodrama, anything an audience could want. Like if you bring the whole family along, everyone will have something they love about it.
Yeah. So he's in love with Shanti, and things sort of change for him. There's like an opening night for one of Shanti's new films, and Om is on like the red carpet, and at first I didn't know whether this sequence really happened, because sometimes you think a sequence happens, but it's in a character's mind. It's not really playing out. But in this case it is, and he follows Shanti as she's waving. And what I love about the look that they gave her, it's so classic of that period in Bollywood, the 70s. Like if you see some like film posters, the way the hair is, and she has such a beauty and classic beauty to her to begin with. And she's Deepika is very statuesque. She's very tall, and it's a beautiful moment where like her sari catches on his I think one of his
the bracelet.
Yeah,
that his mom gives him.
and he's just following her, and he's all like, "Oh my God, this is truly happening."
That took a long time for her to notice, and a lot of people in the crowd. I like watched everybody in the crowd go like.
To be fair,
God.
most things in this movie take a lot of time for anyone to notice. But
yes, but it's such a pretty moment. Then when she finally does, and like she started, and like she is like a guest, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he's immediately removed by security, and he started having like, oh, this is the best moment of your life. Congratulations that this happened to you.
There's one small detail. The first scene where he's talking to the billboard.
Yeah. And
you see the people behind him, like, looking at him like, who's this crazy guy over here? But there's one guy in particular, like, on the ground. Yeah. You just see his head pop up out of nowhere, and he's just kind of, like, looking around. Like, he's like, I feel like he wasn't part of the cast at all. Like, not even, like, a background. He was just kind of like...
Oh, my God.
What's going on?
What happened?
The director was pregnant with triplets while filming this. Apparently, she had a lot of sickness during the shoot.
Oh,
poor lady. She held it together like a champ, though.
Well, I saw
song that happened. It's like, imagine the filming of that 8-minute song itself.
Well, there were behind the scene moments where the director was like, "Okay, come on, I got someplace to be. Let's wrap this up." So she's like telling them, like, they're trying to get the shot done.
I need to
like,
go home and lay down.
Yeah,
like, I have 3 children in me.
It was the inspiration for those really quick filming segments where the directors are like, "Okay, we're out of here. Bye."
Yeah, so you see the two of them like where they have to like pose, like this, especially during the dance, and they're posing on like these bales of hay, and Deepika almost falls, and Shah Rukh Khan has to like catch her. There's like, okay, let's wrap this up. And which to be fair, these shoots can go on, and the song and dance numbers alone like take up like hours
I can
of the
imagine,
film.
like, just the working conditions on those sets must be pretty rough, because these are long movies, and from what I understand, they make a lot of them within a year. So.
Oh, yeah. They definitely punch them out. I don't know how much, I mean, I know, like, things, I don't know how much things have really changed, but yeah, they definitely punch these films out quickly. Like, there are some actors within, like, a year, they've done, like, 6 or 7 films. You know, it's like they really punch them out. So you start to learn that Shanti's glamorous life isn't that glamorous. She has a secret. And spoiler, she's married to this producer who is a bit of a douche.
And
he wants to be the richest man in
a bit.
He refuses to let anyone know they are married, because married stars do not get movies.
They don't, yes. And she's pregnant too. I kind of loved that scene, though.
Oh, that scene was insane. I loved it so much. I was like...
It was a soap opera and a half, and I was so here. I was like, oh no.
And then the scene afterwards when because Om, of course, sees it by accident, and he's broken by this, and then he's just walking, and it's so windy.
The fact that he still loves her even through all of that is kind of amazing, because when you idolize someone so long in their lives, that it's like it's very present that when your idol somehow like breaks your expectations, in the sense that, oh, I thought we were really getting along, and then she turns out to be married for 2 years.
Nah, Om is a king. He gets it. He's like, I know Shanti, no worries.
That scene was funny because you think it's like the weather conditions when he's walking through the wind and like the thing is, but he's actually walking into a scene that's being, and the director's like, what are you? His friend, I love his friend. Shout out to his friend.
Yo, his friend was with him to the end.
What
a friend.
All of the main cast in this were such G's.
I know. It's like Papu is there through thick and thin, through insanity, through his friend, like idolizing. Like, shout out to that friend. That is friendship goals.
That was like his bro. Like,
I know.
He had a relationship with the mom too. It's like everybody knew they were family.
Yeah. And I love the mom character too, because she's also a well-known actress.
I thought it was funny when at some point he tells her, like, this is why you're not in movies. You're so overdramatic.
Melodramatic. Yeah, my melodramatic mother. She's like, I was going to be a star. Then I had you.
And you ruined everything. No, yeah, so Shanti basically reveals to Mukesh, who is her husband and her producer, and that she's pregnant, and Mukesh, of course, says, I am so happy. And I was watching it, and I was like, no, he's not. And like he hugs her, just like, oh, I'm going to reveal to the world that we are married. And Shanti goes, oh my God, you've made me so happy. And I was like, this is bull. So things go from like,
I didn't think he was
bad.
going to her down. I definitely thought he was going to like Rhett Butler her or something. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like toss her down some stairs.
I know, but when like he
usually the thing that people do in movies when they're like, oh no, she's pregnant.
We have, just before we do get to the shift to 2007, I do want to bring up when Om films a cowboy movie.
Yes.
Because that scene, I loved it. Yes, mind it. That's his catchphrase. He says it to everything.
That's supposed to be a spoof on 70s action films of that time. Like, they're really over the top.
Can we watch some of those? Because that was amazing.
I like his big old Texas
Yes.
And I think he said that was his.
Yeah.
That part of his costume actually his.
Oh, yeah. It's also like, I know they were spoofing at a certain point in the early 2000s. There was a slew of like India's response, like, we need action heroes. So that was like a big spoof on that trend during that time of punching out all these action or superhero films. But I have seen stunts from like the set. First of all, I love the sound effects, and I understand it was the time or whatever, but like, oh my Lord, the punches, the falls that last forever. Yeah, like the character falling and falling for what seems like an eternity. So that's what they were spoofing in that scene where he does like his action sequence.
I don't know if you watched him while he was during the scene when Sean, like I think we'll get to this part before the time skip, is that Shanti's husband, or I don't know, husband essentially burns her on the set of a movie that he had planned for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be called Om Shanti Om, which is
the title of the movie.
The title of the movie. But our hero, goes in to try to save her, but he gets beat up by two of the guards.
And then
one scene where he does this, he's like, oh no, he goes face down, but then he flips by himself, and I'm like...
And then he gets caught in an explosion, but that doesn't kill him.
No,
then he gets hit by a car.
Oh my God.
I know,
I was like, oh, this poor guy at that point.
It's truly, though, it shows, though, the lengths that he's willing to go. And at this point, Shanti has no real affection in the romantic sense for him. And they have connected in that Shanti feels like she can be herself when she's around Om. But there really is, unless I'm mistaken, love between her and Om. It's more like one-sided. Om is desperately in love with her. And I think the fact that he literally dies trying to save her is very telling, because like he gets hit in the head with a rock. He gets punched and he still gets up. That was frustrating because I wanted him to at least shatter the glass. Shatter the glass. And then it's the getting hit by the car that finally does it.
And he's hit by a big-time movie star, the King of Love, Rajesh Kapoor.
Yes.
And he's very concerned. He takes him to the hospital and does everything. Yeah. And in honor of him passing, he names his newborn child Om.
Exactly.
And...
Reincarnation?
Yes.
Yes! So 2007, and what I love about the whole introduction when Om in 2007 is talking is that the life he's living is a fulfillment of Om from 1976. He's like, I'm going to be rich, I will wear leather slippers, and I'll have a servant. Velvet, that will put them on. And it's a fulfillment. It actually comes to pass. What I thought was over the nose, and I understand saying this in a film that's very much over the top, so it's kind of like that's what you think is over, is the scene when they focus on his wrist and you see the burn, like, because Om in the 19 had a tattoo.
Yes. Something I noticed.
Yeah.
He wears a necklace in the throughout most of the movie.
Yeah.
That it looks like it's like a cross, a Hindu symbol, and like the Islamic crescent moon and star.
Yes.
Is that I know Shah Rukh Khan is Muslim,
Yes.
and I know sometimes Muslims are not treated super great in India.
Yeah.
So is that sort of like is that a common thing in his work, trying to sort of get like the coexist?
Well, I know that throughout his career, he's always suffered from allegations that because he is Muslim, he has no loyalty to India, which is ridiculous. He was born in India. Mm-hmm. He considered himself very much Indian, but the recent film he did with he reunited with Deepika Padukone. There was a controversy with the film. It's okay, let's hear what it is now. And there's a dance sequence where Deepika is wearing orange and he's wearing green. So they thought, oh, it's supposed to be for Pakistan. But then I was thinking, but India's but India's flag colors are green, white, and orange. So I was like, I could see that as being the Indian flag, because Pakistan's flag is green with the crescent city and stars, I think. Don't come at me, I may be wrong. But, like, that was a big controversy. He was like, oh, they're trying to, like... So, he's always suffered from controversy.
I just saw that and I thought it was a cool little, I was like, oh, is he just getting in, like, a message for, like, come on, accept everyone?
It probably is. Like, there was like historical film made where it's like there are Muslim, like the army is made up of Muslims, of Sikhs, of Hindus. Like, oh, okay, you see, we can coexist. It might very well have been like a subtle thing for like coexistence, but yeah, he's always faced those issues because he is Muslim.
But yeah, I just thought about it because the symbol on his wrist was the Hindu symbol, right?
I thought it was the Om, Om symbol, yeah.
I'm very ignorant when it comes to this.
I don't want to talk like I know everything. Like, most of what I am saying is because I've watched some films and but I'm not, I want to put it out there, I'm not an expert on Bollywood cinema or anything like that. It's just I've seen a few, so like certain things like I may be aware of. And Om Shanti Om is a religious phrase that I looked up what it meant, and now I cannot remember what it means.
I think it meant something to the effect of, like, peace be with you. I'm going to double check that.
Om Shanti Om. God. Yeah.
She said. Om Shanti Om roughly translates to peace be with you.
Okay.
And it looks like it's often used as, like, a mantra.
Yeah. So he's reincarnated, and he achieves his goal of being reincarnated as a top superstar. He's very wealthy, very arrogant because he knows he's... And I want to just give a shout out because the director knew what she was doing. We're going to talk about...
Disco of Despair?
Yes, because that is what is known as an item number in Bollywood films. And item numbers have been around since Bollywood cinema has been around.
About Darty Disco or...
Yes!
Okay, because I'm only looking at the Indian name, so you said Disco of Despair. Which was that one?
Oh, yeah. The translated lyrics are all just, like, about how much he is suffering. But it's the most over-the-top disco song ever.
So, they're known as item numbers. And generally speaking, item numbers have no relation to plot. They're usually danced by women. There are some people that find them controversial because the women tend to be highly sexualized. But in this case... Shah Rukh Khan is highly sexualized, and I call that progress.
His character is kind of like he kind of plays this son of a celebrity.
Yeah.
He got everything he ever wanted.
Exactly.
He's living in the high life, and now he's like kind of like he's not like an actor. He's just like a face they put in their
star.
Yeah,
he is.
There's apparently Farrah Khan was just like, look, Shah Rukh Khan, I know you're 45 or whatever. You got to get ripped for this.
He did. He worked out. He worked out for several months to get those abs, and I appreciate his dedication and his work. Thank you, Shah Rukh Khan. the scene was insane. When I was like, oh
I
my.
love how many little jabs there are about nepotism in the Indian film industry in the second half. Like, the guy directing the movie is just constantly turning to his dad and being like, Dad, what do we do? And the dad's just like, I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah, like, and also there was a big thing because the scene where in 1977 where Shah Rukh Khan rescues Shanti was actually on fire on that scene, but he used it as a time to promote. He has an FX company called Red Chilies. So
that's on the DVD disc.
Yes.
I saw the picture on IMDb.
Yes. Yeah, because that was like, because there is a lot of like wink wink nod nods to like the nepotism. Even the director herself is the daughter of directors. So there's a lot of like wink wink, not like we get it, you know. But
yeah,
Shah Rukh
at one
Khan,
point they said something like, "Oh, it's gonna go to a Bakchan."
Yes. But I love that item number, and I was rewatching it yesterday with my sister. I was like, thank you. Like, I really appreciated it.
So much fun.
Yes.
And I love that he forces it into a movie he's starring in where he plays someone who's like a double amputee and is blind and deaf.
Yes.
But he's just like, no, it's a dream sequence. Anything can happen.
Yes.
Like the dream sequence. And I like that they exchange. It's interesting to see how they exchanged like traditional like Indian dancers for these blonde-haired American chicks.
They do that.
And I'm like,
in a lot of films, I was like, what are they doing here? It's so jarring for me.
It's a dream sequence.
Yeah, and I was like, why are they here?
Yeah, and
don't look like they're...
That's definitely an undercurrent in the second half about, like, are we getting a little too American here? Like, especially with, like, the stuff with Mukesh going by Mikey now.
Oh,
he's a big
yeah.
Hollywood guy.
In the second half,
yes.
too, because it's like he talks about Hollywood, because he's now transferred from Bollywood to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Mukesh, that douchebag. Yeah, so we are in present day, and like we said, Om has achieved his goals. He still has that fear of fire, which there's a kind of funny, I know it's supposed to be a traumatic event, but there's a scene when there's pyrotechnics in the dance number, and all of a sudden he goes, oh my God, and he loses his... and he's like fire, and they have to like take it out.
There's a scene where he's having the dinner with Mukesh, and then like his dish comes out, it's like the tiniest little flame, like a flambe kind of a deal. And he's like, oh, get that away from me, and I'm like, it's so tiny.
But it's supposed to be that he's starting to get memories of his past life, and he's drawn to the old like I was gonna say not Bollywood, like the old film. I can't think of the word I'm looking. The studio. Thank you. Film studio. That's the word I was looking for. And he's drawn to it. He doesn't know why he's drawn to it. He's getting all these flashbacks.
His mother from his past life keeps approaching him.
Yes, and she's like, "That's my Om." And then
Papa was one of my big issues with this movie is that he just had the conversation with his dad. He's like, "I'm gonna be a better son, and I'm gonna be a better man." He's like, "I'm so proud of you," and I'm like, it seems like he has a really good relationship with his now father.
Yeah.
Wherever the mom is in that one, I guess she's. I don't know. The mom never showed up again after she gave birth.
Yeah.
I was wondering where she went. But then, so he gets his memories back, and then he just leaves his house and is probably staying with this woman who was his mother. And he's like, I'm never leaving again. I'm like, your father must be worried sick. Where are you? Unless he's used to you having, weekend benders at somebody else's place. But I was like, you're just going to leave without leaving a note or anything? He's
it's
like, no, I'm
loyalty.
staying here now.
It's loyalty to his
It was
mom.
loyalty, but still he had a good thing with his dad. He's just going to leave it?
Let's talk about that award show sequence.
Oh,
It
yes.
starts off with some of the funniest parodies.
Yes.
The bit about Doom 5. This time, he's not a cop.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, what?
And the fake cop movie where
I know
the gun. And he just. It was great.
No, that is really.
I don't have a problem.
I was like, I don't know how it works. I said, I don't know how you're aiming so well, but he's just doing like these pelvic thrusts, and I'm like, how did they get away with that? And it's just firing with deadly accuracy, and I'm like, oh my God.
It's his power.
Oh yeah.
He's that good.
Yeah. I guess. But
He's
yeah,
had years of practice.
there's a lot of cameos at a certain point. It's like anyone they could get, they did get into this film. I was enjoying myself.
I was just nodding along, saying, "Yes, I'm sure that person is famous."
Well,
Yes.
well, there's one of the actresses he dances with. Her name is Rani Mukherjee, and they have had a lot of film pairings together. So that was like being like reunited. He's done a lot of films with her, Abhishek, and like a few of like think famous like they call them like the three Khans. One of the three Khans like comes in that cameo as well. Some I recognize, some I like. I'm sure you're famous. I don't know who you are. But they got BlackBerry phones and expensive watches for their cameos, so they were compensated.
The women are dressed to the nines, but the men are wearing cut-up jeans.
That's,
Amitabh Bachchan walked on in like a Trump-style suit. It was like that shiny, like navy blue, and he had the red tie, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I was like looking at the outfits because I was like, "Oh, I really love like the outfits. They're so bright, so colorful, and like the women look gorgeous."
Yeah.
But then there's like a scene where the men start walking in, and they're just
they're
wearing
Ed
jeans,
Hardy
and I'm
and
just
stuff.
like, I'm like, you were at like a Hollywood like high-end. Where are your slacks?
Well,
Where are your dress pants?
different standards.
Standards.
But he gets his memories back.
He does, yes.
And that is around the time he meets Mukesh, who
Yes.
now goes by Mikey. He's a
Yeah.
big Hollywood producer.
I love how
Yes.
they show aging within 30 years. It's just
His
white
hair
hair.
went gray, yes. That's it.
They like give some little eyebrows.
Well,
And he begins to concoct a scheme
Yes.
to get revenge for
Yes.
what he did to Shanti.
Yes. It's an elaborate scheme. I admire the effort.
Yeah, he's
and
going to
putting it-
gaslight him into believing a ghost is after him.
Yes, yeah, like, and because he does a bunch of film casting. There's a funny scene where he's like, all these women, and they have to say this famous line about the importance of the
Vermilion.
because when you're married, women like they have a red mark of vermilion over here, so it's important. And there's a line in one of Shanti in the past Shanti where she's talking about the honor of a woman and the importance of marriage to a woman and basically being shown that respect. So the women are supposed to say that line. Of course, half of them can't say it. Om is at his wit's end because he'll never be able to find the perfect Shanti. Lo and behold,
Her reincarnation shows up.
yes, who looks exactly like her, but
And
she's a little
klutzy,
ditzier.
Bad
Yes.
actress.
But there's a scene when like Om like saves her from like toppling over, and the actress faints because she's in the presence of her hero. But he realizes she is the one. They have to mold her. She's a little bit like rough around the edges, but after a little like fashion tips or whatever, she is
They go
ready.
to montage.
Yes, she is ready to be Shanti.
Montage.
Yes.
Yeah, and he gets a remake of Om Shanti Om going,
Yes,
and
yes.
there's a great scene where it's
Much
like the
reluctance.
kickoff of production, and he's
Yeah.
doing a big press conference, and he's
Yeah.
just like, yes, the actress is my childhood friend, and the director is my childhood friend, and
Yes.
Everyone's my childhood friend. You're my childhood friend.
Yes, and there's like a great scene when Om and Mukesh are watching the premiere, and you just see like there's the act, and then like and her name is not Shanti in the present timeline. What is her name in the present timeline?
it is Sandy.
Sandy. And all of a sudden Sandy
Sounds
comes
like
in
Shanti.
and she just
Sandy.
boom appears on like the screen, and like she looks like how she looked when she was murdered, and Mukesh is having a heart attack, and Om is like, you need to chill. No one likes a crazy person. And like I love all the gaslighting that's happening. Like you're not really seeing
Om is
what you're
ruthless.
seeing. Yes, but he has a goal. There's a goal in mind. And of course there's the climactic moment when
Which is
Mu-
my favorite song.
When he
Yes.
was
Whole
unveiling
movie.
it, oh my god!
yes,
You're like,
yes.
go.
Yes.
It goes on for like 6 minutes, and it's just so
I think
amazing.
that one was that the I think it's this one, the dark mix. It was
Yes.
6 minutes and 21 seconds. The longest
Yes.
song was 8 minutes and 57 seconds.
Was that
Yeah.
was that the big cameo one?
That was the
Yeah.
Dewangi
Yep.
Dewangi. It was just the third song in the movie.
Yes, and like
If I said
Oh
that-
no, it's the track list is all mixed up.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I don't know which one that's.
Yeah, no, that's the big cameo number.
yeah.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh no!
But they were playing the Om Shanti Om, like when Sandy's character is running. It kind of reminded me of like Phantom of the Opera for a certain moment. She's just
right?
running.
Did
Yeah.
you get
Yes.
the masquerade?
Yes.
It felt like the masquerade scene. That
And
everything
she's
was
running,
hard.
and Mukesh realizes this isn't a ghost because naturally Sandy, being the klutz that she is, brushes against a chandelier,
Very
and there's a
gothic
streak
elemental,
of blood,
yeah.
and Mukesh goes, and then he starts chasing her for real. I was like, oh my God, Sandy, run, because he realizes that she's not dead. And then Om confronts Mukesh, and Mukesh says, I'll reveal it, but you're gonna die, so no one will know anyway. And then epic moment, dun 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 dun. Shanti's ghost comes. And Shanti basically says, there's something you didn't tell anyone. I was alive when you buried me under the chandelier. And Mukesh realizes, how would Sandy, because it's not Sandy, know this? And she says, it will be revealed. You cannot hide. And Mukesh goes even crazier. He has a gun, of course. Yes, he tries firing, but I think Om manages, like in epic fashion, to wrestle the gun from him. He grabs a hold
Very
of the
dramatic
gun.
fashion, as
Very
this movie is
dramatic.
presented.
Yeah.
Very overtly dramatic.
Yes, and Shanti goes, he will die, but you will not be the one to kill him. And I'm like, what does she mean? And like the Phantom of the Opera, the chandelier crashes down right on Mukesh.
And then
But unlike the Phantom of the Opera, when the chandelier falls, nobody dies.
Yeah, in this film, he
And
dies.
then
know
there's a
of.
great confrontation scene between
Yeah.
them all, and
Yeah.
the ghost of Shanti reveals herself
Yes.
and takes her revenge
Yes.
on the man who killed her.
Yes, and the chandelier falls on him. It's kind of bittersweet because Shanti never got what she wanted in life. She wanted to be happy.
She wanted the love.
Yes, she wanted the man whom she loved to love her back, but he was a douche and it didn't happen. And at the end, there's like, she's looking at him and she's tearful, and Om is crying, but finally her soul is at peace and she leaves, which makes me wonder, my God, she was around that set for a very long time. And she finally goes off and she's at peace, and I'm assuming Om and Sandy. I mean, it's not clear cut whether Sandy has any of the memories of Shanti.
I think she
Yeah.
might just be a lady who looks just like her.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't quite... I guess if her
What,
spirit is
Sandy?
still
Yeah.
not at rest, I don't know if she's reincarnated.
True, because when I first saw it, I assumed that, like, Shanti's present day, which maybe she isn't the reincarnation, because I assumed she would also have the memories. But Sandy definitely seems like someone who's, okay, I just look like this woman. But she has none of her memories, none of her, like...
So then she can't, then she's probably, what our assumption is probably true, then she's not the reincarnation of Shanti. Because a reincarnation is like the soul reincarnating.
Yeah, which...
So if
yeah.
Shanti's ghost has been in this studio for as long as it has, then Sandy.
I do like how a lot of it was foreshadowed by that bit early on when
Yeah.
he's doing the cowboy movie, and he's just
Yeah.
like, I died 4 times in this movie.
Yeah.
We're twins, and
Yeah.
we die, and then we get reincarnated, and then...
Yes.
Die again. I'm really good at that.
Yeah. And another fun sort of fact, so with Deepika, there are scenes in the 1977 first half of the film where you see Deepika dancing, like the actress is dancing in films, and they actually imposed her in actual films.
Those were very well done.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with
It took
like,
7 days of shooting and 45 shots for each replacement.
Wow.
So basically what she had to do was, and she is, I think, has a background in dance, and she had to mirror step for step the original dance, often with a male dancer outfitted in a tight spandex green sheath, and she was then dropped into the scene, replacing the real heroine so that she, quote unquote, is really dancing. So the films in which she's dropped is Amrapali, which was made in 1966, which is an historical epic film. Sacha Juta, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this, which was made in 1970. And then there's the cute racket sequence when she and the guys are like, ooh.
Yes.
I was like, that's not how you play tennis.
That's from the
floor.
1970 film Hum Jolie. That's where like those scenes are like, ooh, and like I thought it was adorable. I love the outfits, and they're like playing rackets, and the guys on this side like, oh, It's a really
on the
cute
floor,
scene.
I'm like, my private lesson teacher would have had me, like, out of there.
Yeah, and
like,
the sequence when Shah Rukh Khan's character rescues Shanti from the fire is based on a film called Mother India, which was made in the 50s. And in the film, the actress actually got caught. They set the set on fire, and she couldn't get out. So the actor who then she married later rescued her. So that was the scene they were sort of parodying, not parodying, but referencing.
Reenacting?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were some of the, and there were a lot more references within the film itself, but like the scenes, like I love how it was done, how Shanti looks like she's actually interacting with the actors, and even the opening scene where the actor is dancing on that record player, I think is from an actual film in the 70s. They took a shot of the actor dancing on the record player. And I also know they were accused of plagiarism. They ran into some legal issues as well with this film. And one of the actors, the one who like has his face constantly covered, is like, "Oh, I'm so and so." The actual actor was offended by his portrayal, and the director said, "I know so and so. He could have called me and scolded me if he thought I had done something wrong." And then the actor said, "No, like there's nothing to be forgiven." But he was hurt by the way they were portraying him.
Yeah, I see it right here.
Yeah.
Manoj Kumar plans to sue the makers of Om Shanti Om for showing his body double in bad taste.
Yes.
Kumar added, quote, "Are the Mumbai police so stupid that they can't recognize Manoj Kumar," sorry for butchering his name, and Latha charge him in the 70s when he was a star. Later in a press conference, Shah Rukh Khan and director Farah Khan accepted their mistake and apologized for the matter.
Yeah.
She even offered to cut the scene.
Yeah.
So, poor guy. Poor guy was so insulted.
Yeah. So overall, the film, which starts off tragically, ends pretty well. Shanti's spirit is finally able to find rest. Mukesh gets what he deserved. Om will live, I guess, happily ever after, whether with Sandy or not, it's not really known. But in the end, Om achieved in his present life what he couldn't achieve in his past life. So I guess it's a happy ending.
Plot hole, which was, why does everybody leave Mukesh alone after the accident?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I was looking at goofy stuff.
I don't know.
Where it's goofs, and
I just don't know what that means.
Why does everyone leave Mukesh alone after the accident? I'm like, when?
What accident?
When he burns it down?
Know.
Like, why
someone just wrote that. I'm like, IMDb, what's going on?
Be more specific would
They
help.
said that
enough
it was
to write
funny
it
that
off?
the chandelier,
Yeah,
someone
it's
noticed that the
insurance.
chandelier, when it falls down,
that?
is up within like 5 seconds looking completely fine.
Who cares?
And during the dance sequence, they say he takes off his jacket, he like throws it.
Oh,
and I was like...
who cares? Oh, the
I was
cigarette
like, look,
changes
this has
size.
no continuity whatsoever going on with it. I was like, you're fine. I was like, these are some funny little things, but I'm like, no.
I've noticed that too sometimes, in like continuity errors, and I understand that shooting a scene could take place over days. Like some people, they notice such minutia, and I'm like, okay.
I think at that point they're just nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, but also like scenes could be shot over a few days, so I think it's hard to like have everything. I always find it funny when like a bag is on the table, now it's not. Bag's on the table, now it's not. I just find that funny.
Why is the bag on the table?
But
what's the meaning?
or someone's sipping a Coke and now the Coke is unopened. Now it's open again. Like it's just funny things like that.
Or that whole controversy at the last season of
Game of Thrones with the Starbucks cups.
Starbucks cups.
I would like to think is that in Westeros there is a Starbucks.
Or some it's a fantasy world. I could have ye olde Starbucks.
Yeah, because it's like they need caffeine after everything that they go through.
What's the money in Westeros called? I don't know. Ye olde star. So whatever the money currency is, it's not bucks.
So yeah, everyone lost their minds with the Starbucks cups in the scenes. It took them out of the moment, I guess.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. When I was watching it, I didn't notice it at all. So
I didn't either.
So that was Om Shanti Om. So
I loved it.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
And good. That means that there'll be more Bollywood films in the future. I got Joe's approval.
I'm very happy. I want more of this.
Okay.
I mean, I liked it. I I don't know. I think because of and I understand that the overacting is done on purpose.
Yeah.
And it probably is because I don't watch a lot of Bollywood movies that it kind of turned it off for me when I was watching it.
I felt that way in the beginning because I had experience watching some in the past, like very, very, very far in the past. Like I think when I was in high school when I watched a couple of them, like, and I was kind of used to it. So it took me a while to be like, oh, they're like not taking it seriously, and this is kind of a funny, like gag.
Yeah.
These are clearly gags. So I took it as that, and then I had more fun looking at it.
I mean, and I understand that it's like it's telling essentially two different stories into one movie. I didn't think it needed to be as
3
long
hours
as
long.
it was, but that's just me.
Yeah, I saw Beau is Afraid last night, and this is refreshing compared to that. There was some really funny stuff. I think the first half of it was way better. I think the second half really ran out of steam.
I heard that the second half, like the ending, people, it's either you're gonna really like it or you're gonna really like it.
Yeah, I just thought the first half was way better, but I felt like those 3 hours breezed by. I put this on a Sunday afternoon, expecting to watch like half of it, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm in.
Mental space to have something that's a little like, okay. It's there, the plot's there.
And I mean, I will say, just because I didn't have a great experience with this Bollywood movie doesn't mean that this is going to color my experience. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to watch other Bollywood films.
And
maybe just something that's a little more subtle and not so like my face.
And there was especially a time when things were, it was sort of like, even with our films, like there are decades when like there's over the top, there's mellow, and now we're sort of trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
And with Bollywood films, it's very much the same. There are some films where it's like the acting is very subtle, it is not over the top. We will be watching another Bollywood film, which is one of my favorites. Now that I have Joe's approval, we are watching another one. So, which is completely different. There are over the top moments, but there are subtler moments. And Shah Rukh Khan, like I said, is one of the biggest actors in India, and he's like the star. And
just like a lot of the general approach to storytelling and like not being afraid of tonal shifts and stuff like that. It reminded me a lot of Hong Kong cinema, and like at first
I felt that way. It felt like very like Kung Fu Hustle to me.
And at first that stuff can throw you off, but I've grown to be like, no, this is really cool. Like I like when a movie can go from something like a big dance number to like a scene that's like more or less dead serious. I love that.
Well, I'm glad that overall you guys enjoyed it, because I was a little, like I was telling Katie before, I was struggling to pick a movie that I thought would fit musical, because one thing I wanted you guys to watch, and maybe in the future I will have you guys watch it, was the film Paheli, and that stars Shah Rukh Khan and Rani Mukherjee, and it's very different tonally. It's based, I think, on a folklore, but it didn't have a lot of music numbers.
Okay.
So I didn't know whether that would count as a musical.
Look, I'm a big SRK guy now.
Yeah.
This sold me on them. So.
Okay. Good to know. So like I'm glad that you guys did find something to enjoy with the movie. And I'd like to know, like, if you want to leave comments, if you're familiar with the film, if you're familiar with Shah Rukh Khan and any other film that he has done, if you're new to Bollywood, or if you are someone who has watched Bollywood films, like, let us know. And
real fast before we wrap up, we forgot to talk about the tiger scene.
Oh,
wait, what happened with the
tiger?
The
scene,
stuffed
the one
tiger.
where he's like,
oh
and
yes!
Throw a stuffed
Oh my
tiger
god, that was so awesome.
How did we not talk about the tiger scene?
And I just loved everybody watching me like, wow, that tiger.
That kitty.
No, he says, like, and this is because I'm very American.
It was his idea to say naughty one. It was his idea to say that line.
And I'm sorry, when I just kept hearing the word my mind went someplace different.
No, it's a cat. It's a cat.
Because I'm that American, and I was like, oh my god.
It was the best. The fact that they threw like a generic stuffed tiger at him, and it's like he has a CG company or like a special effect. And he can't throw it aside. Just catch, and he's like, oh no. He's like punching it and stuff. It reminds me of some of like those old, when they make fun of like low budget movies, they always have to like, oh no,
and I and I also wonder, and I don't know if this is the case, because I know
That's
with
how you can tell who
India,
real actors are.
Yeah.
How they handle a stuffed animal.
because, and I don't know whether this is because, like, in Indian films where there are use of animals, there's always a disclaimer that's put up about the animals are ethically treated, and a lot of the times they'll CGI an animal. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's like, that could have been better. But I don't know if this is why they used. I know it's purely comedy, but I was kind of wondering if that's probably.
Yeah, my
Well, things they're doing are semi kind of like very weird, low budget feel. Like even the superhero one, even now we like have green screens and CGI for like special scenes. Like nobody's really standing on top the rooftop of like the Empire State Building. But his whole reel with like Love Man is they have like a whole reel and he has to actually go all the way up there. Just go, and she has like a harness when they're doing, oh, you want to fly, baby? And they fly just down. So I'm like, that's not fun. He's like, did you have fun? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no. I want to.
She was with Shah Rukh Khan. Honestly, if Shah Rukh Khan had his arms around me, like, I'd have fun even if we just did jumping jacks. So, yeah. Listen,
Shah Rukh Khan, if you're out there, leave a comment.
You got a big fan.
Oh my god. No, like, watch the dance sequence. I have a picture. And his shirt does not stay on properly, and I appreciate it.
Simona, as a wise man once said, that if you want something with all your heart hard enough, the universe will conspire to give.
Shah Rukh Khan is going to come on the podcast. That's it. He's going to come. Honestly, though, if you do comment... we would consider it goals.
I love the 2000 style, too. He was wearing shirts that I see kids wore from, like...
Yeah, those, like, Ed Hardy style things.
I was getting flashbacks to...
The layers.
Or, like, the cool skateboard shirts.
His
from,
bedazzled jeans.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and 2000 fashions at its strongest. Going strong in that film. So... yeah.
That's tiger.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, before I close out, does any of you guys have anything else you want to say? Or
no?
It's a really fun movie. If you're looking for something kind of outside of your thing and you just want to have fun with the movie and also kind of try something new, I definitely recommend this one. This was definitely a lot of fun to watch based on, like, you know, the things that we've watched over the course of the podcast, over the things that we may watch in our niche areas. I know I'm all over, like, the anime and the horror, but this was kind of a nice break.
This is movie magic. That's what I was saying.
Movie magic.
It made me smile about the whole time. So, yeah, I love
It's heart, it's character. It doesn't take itself super seriously, which is a lot of fun.
Yes.
Versus all the movies that we've all tried to make each
as
other
someone, this is my first Bollywood movie, and I feel like this would be a good entry point for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like my cousins. I'm not gonna say anymore. It is a fun film. It is crazy in all the right ways. And if this is your introduction, welcome. And thank you for joining us for this discussion. And we look forward to talking with you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.
He's got a new movie coming out this year. He's gonna play a dual role. Let's go.
He's gonna play that twin, and he's gonna die twice.
What's the movie called?
Jawan. And then he has another one coming out called Donkey.
Oh, see?
Oh, no twins.
Yeah, see?
Maybe.
He's going strong. Bye, everyone.
Uh-huh.